You're listening to Systemic Error Podcast. The failure was designed.
Say No to Drugs, Stephen Miller heaped with scorn for pious Trump praise, based on an article by Benito L. Helty. When power starts calling itself Providence, the source of the story, Stephen Miller, one of the most powerful aides in the White House, posted that Donald Trump's return to the presidency was divine providence and not mere politics. Predictably, commentators responded with ridicule, Bible verses, and psychiatric metaphors. That is the surface-level story. The deeper one is that a senior official inside the executive branch is describing concentrated political power as holy destiny. Power, not poetry. The relevant fact is not Miller's theology. It is his institutional position. He is not a random online troll. He is a top White House aide speaking from the center of executive authority, helping define how Trump's second term is narrated to supporters and excused to everyone else. When people like Miller frame political victory as providence, they are not being poetic. They are laundering power through sanctity. That matters because sanctified power does not ask for accountability. It asks for submission. Who gets blamed? The reactions in his source mostly do what modern political commentary too often does. They turn a power story into a personality story. Miller is mocked as delusional. Trump is treated as a cult object. None of that is false, but it is incomplete if it stops there. The point is not that a strange man said a strange thing. The point is that this language is now normal at the epicenter of the most powerful government on earth. Ridicule is cheap. It is also a convenient escape hatch. If Miller is just crazy, then the machinery around him disappears from view. The institutional ecosystem that rewards this rhetoric gets to stay untouched. The function of the lie. This kind of language is designed to do political work. It recasts choice as fate, strategy as destiny, and domination as moral order. If Trump's presidency is ordained, then opposition becomes not just disagreement but rebellion against a higher plan. That is an old authoritarian trick with new packaging. Convert political accountability into sacred narrative, then shame critics for failing to revere the script. The source article shows this clearly even in the reactions it quotes. Some respondents hit the right note on the cultishness of Trumpism, but the deeper mechanism is not simply devotion. It is justification. Divine providence is a story that excuses the abuse of power before anyone even names it. Democratic framing is not neutrality. This is one of those moments when pretending the political field is symmetrical would be a lie. The issue is not extremes on all sides. It is that the Republican project around Trump has fused executive power, movement loyalty, and grievance myth into a single apparatus. Democrats are not perfect, and they routinely underuse their own institutional leverage, but they remain the necessary institutional barrier against this kind of rule-based mysticism. That does not mean Democrats should answer authoritarian theology with timid institutionalism. It means they should stop treating this movement as merely eccentric or unserious. A government staffed by people who speak in the language of destiny is a government trying to evade democratic limits. A real pattern. The broader pattern here is not religious language in politics. Politics has always borrowed religious language. The pattern is the conversion of state power into a personalized cult and the normalization of that cult through elite commentary that treats it as a joke rather than a warning. Stephen Miller's post is not important because it is deranged. It is important because it reveals how comfortably authoritarian politics now wears the mask of transcendence. When government insiders start describing electoral victory as heaven's will, they are not merely flattering Trump. They are teaching the public to confuse obedience with virtue. You've been listening to Systemic Error. Thanks to Raw Story for today's article, with the automated voice of Ryan. Thanks for listening.